So yeah, this is the Air Jordan 1 Retro High OG Black Toe or Chicago 1 um, colorway. So this is kind of like a recent pickup I picked up um, for the collection. I was kind of hunting this shoe down, but I just couldn't get my hands on the right pair I needed. So I finally got the pair I needed um, through a sneaker store. Um, then I didn't realize how much more rare it was, but I kind of knew it was based on the Chicago Black Toe. And then it had like a fragment um, design in it, so I just kind of didn't know until I seen it. But it has some detailing that Jordan like wrote that they put on the inside, and then you have the OG Air Jordan logo instead of the Air Jordan wings. Um, but yeah, just Air Jordan 1 Black Toe fragment from 2025. Pretty dope shoe. Um, the next one um, I'll do another Kobe. Then I'll save the last two um, rare pairs. So this next shoe is a Nike Kobe 6 Protro Reverse Grinch. Um, 2020, I think 23. I'm not sure because when this released, I couldn't get my hands on it, and I didn't want to try because I knew it was impossible. I think it's 23 or 24. It's one of those dates, but it wasn't so late when this was released. Yeah, it's 23. So I still had a chance to get these. I picked these up at a sneaker event. Um, Basically, I was already like on the way out. I couldn't get my hands on my size. Um, then I seen somebody at the last minute with my exact size. Kind of worked a deal out. I mean, I paid the price, but these are like crazy right now. Um, I don't know what people would do for these, but I got my pair. My pair is still crispy, dead stock. So this is based on the Grinch Kobe 6. That wasn't really called the Grinch. It was just called the Viper when it first released. And then I guess they made the Grinch pair. And then they made the Reverse Grinch. But this shoe was based off of like all the crazy Red Octobers, Yeezys, the all red shoes that were coming out. Um, the Red Octobers, the infrareds, everything that was hyped around this shoe. People didn't kind of understand that this was the Reverse Grinch until they um, looked in the insole, and then you can see it says something from the Grinch. And then you have the green version, which is like the original Grinch. And then you have the first version, which is like the Viper green, which they thought was the Grinch, but it's called the Viper green. And then I think there's another um, Reverse Grinch that released originally, like years back, but I don't really hear people talk about it too much because they just didn't know like what the hype was about. But yeah, this is the 2023 version. Kobe 6, Black Mamba, rest in peace. It's a pretty hype shoe just because of the color, but it really pops. But I had to pick that up for the collection. So the next shoe um, is an Air Jordan 1 Chicago High. Miles Morales, Next Chapter, Spider Man, Spider Verse, Jordan 1, OG High, Chicago, released for the Spider-Verse movie, Miles Morales. So basically, this shoe is based off of the animation Into the Spider-Verse. I'll just try to go through quick details. So you have the shoe that was released. This is the Shock Drop pair. Um, so like they released this shoe on Nike website, which was like a glitch. So nobody really got their hands on it. But rewind back into time, um, when it first released, it was released by an Instagrammer or an influencer that was content creating for his Instagram, and he was seen wearing a pair of shoes similar to this that he created, and they had like the same look as this. Um, and it wasn't a Nike, but he just made it like similar to what a Nike would look like. Um, and then people caught wind, and they started to call it, his shoe the Spider-Man shoe. And then he came out in public and made a statement saying that his shoe is a Spider-Man shoe based, and that's what he's trying to base it off. Nothing to do with the movie or Nike. So then people wanted to get their hands on it, and he was like still wearing the shoe and making them, and the quality was just horrible. So he didn't really have no like sales or like reason to bring them out. So then Nike caught wind, and then they seen what he was doing, and they were gonna create the shoe themselves. So they started advertising that the shoe was coming out, but they never really got to it. And then the hype came around. Then the shoe finally started to surface from Nike at events and like pictures. Um, but it was just like, how do you say, like fake pairs. Then the person that really created it really had made quality pairs and was selling them. And then Nike reached out to him um, to give him a shoe that he could create. So he created the Air Jordan 1 Prowler Stash OG High, based on the Miles Morales Spider Verse. His character's evil uncle, and then that shoe dropped, and then Nike was gonna drop their version of the Spider Verse. So I kind of reached out to a lot of sources to get this shoe, but I couldn't find it. And then it started to release in like the UA and the knockoff and the fake pairs, and the China pairs at sneaker events. But people thought it was hideous, it was ugly, so they didn't want the shoe. So nobody wanted it. But I knew I needed it and I wanted it. I knew what it was uh, meant for, and how exclusive it was. But it was impossible because all the releases already came out, and the guy that created it didn't have this actual shoe, and just sources were all non-official Nike versions. So I got a hold of somebody that had pairs and multiple people that had pairs. So I made an anonymous purchase and got it paired through an eBay seller, um, and then got my hands on the shoe. So you see like DJ Khaled have a exclusive run for friends and family. From his wife to his kids had pairs. Then there was exclusive kids pairs that were released that were sitting on websites, um, but it was more like a glitch because the shoe was already sold out. Then they started to surface the shoe, and then people that had them didn't want them, and people that did have them had already got rid of them and needed them. So it basically was just like under the radar, too exclusive to get your hands on a real pair. But I managed to get an official pair from a reseller that had proof and a receipt from Nike. So yeah, then I got the shoe in the mail. Um, People would post on YouTube that they had this shoe or they wanted in raffle, but it was no raffle. It was just a glitch because I tried multiple releases from the shock drop to the original release, and then I want to say there was like 3 releases. I think there was a shock drop release. There was a store raffle release for certain stores. There was an in-store release, and then there was a basic Nike release. But yeah, all 3 of those were debunked, and they were not official releases. They were glitches. So a little bit of detail about the shoe. You have the Spider-Verse costume going into the next universe of the future. So it has like a 3D look from original to like the 3D Spider-Verse. You have different color patterns, materials throughout the whole shoe from all the different universes and Spider-Mans. And then you have this like this matte like patented leather hologram black, and then you have this upper metallic patented leather on the top in an iridescent colorway. And then a little bit about the shoe. It has errors, so the tongue isn't errored, supposed to be all red, and it was printed wrong, so it's half white, half red. And the sizes, this is my size, obviously. The sizes are kind of different. It's rare to see certain sizes in this shoe, so that's another sign of the exclusivity of the shoe. And then the shoe glows in the dark, so when you light up the outsole, it turns into like a yellow. Um, in the night, it glows yellowish green, and it usually lasts. So the way they could tell the shoes were being faked or there's fake pairs is if you light up the bottom and it glows for like a little short time, or it doesn't glow at all, that means it's not real. But if your shoe glows and glows like for the whole day or whatever when you wear it, it's authentic. Um, and then I think that's pretty much basically it with this shoe. It was kind of just, if you had them, you had them. I still don't see nobody making hype over those. I think just because they couldn't get them, and they weren't really interested in like trying to be proven that they got an actual real pair from Nike. But like all my shoes are authentic, and they're all 100% like either Nike. Some of these even more difficult to get during the time of these releases.